So last week, when we did our Time for All Ages, we talked about these presents. And we talked about the one that was wrapped nicely and the one that was wrapped plainly. And we were thinking about whether or not, which one would we go to immediately? Which one would we be drawn to? Because we would think that it would have something really, really special in it, really good. It's actually a really good day for me because I get to do 2 pop culture references today. I remember an episode of Big Bang Theory where Sheldon and Amy get married and they get given a wedding present that they have no idea what it is. They have no idea what they're supposed to do with it. And they spend the entire episode trying to figure out what this gift is, and then what are they supposed to do with it? And that kind of relates to what we're talking about, and what we talked about last week was the gifts of God being given to us in joy. And that's wonderful. That is a blessing, and that's wonderful for us. We've all been given these wonderful gifts from God. But then what do we do with them? We have to use the gifts. And that's what today we're talking about, is how we're challenged to use those gifts that God has given us in the wider world. And so the gifts of friendship, the gifts of love, the gifts of just being there for someone. How do we use those in the world? And when we do use those in the world, do we help to bring God's kingdom? Because we don't want the gifts that God has given us for us to sit there and go, well, what am I supposed to do with this? We need to figure out, how do we use the gifts of God so that God becomes a part of our world as we share what God has given us. And so it's something for us to think about. How are we using, how are you using, how am I using all of the gifts that God has given me? And going out into the world, whether it be, well, we can't go out in the world right now, but how are we connecting with people and bringing the gifts that God has given us to the people around us, to the people we know, and to the world? Because in doing that, we bring God's kingdom. I'll see you next time.